Black Clover, Episode 1, Asta and Yuno. 1 Synopsis Plot Overview. The episode introduces us to the world of Black Clover, a magical society where everyone is expected to have magical powers, everyone except Asta, our protagonist. It sets the stage for the lifelong rivalry and brotherhood between Asta and Yuno, two orphans raised together at a church in the outskirts of the Clover Kingdom. Both boys dream of becoming the Wizard King, the strongest mage in the kingdom. But while Yuno is a prodigious magical genius, Asta is completely incapable of using any magic at all. Despite that, Asta trains his body relentlessly, hoping that determination and effort will compensate for his lack of magic. The story reaches a turning point during the grimoire acceptance ceremony. Yuno receives a rare four-leaf clover grimoire, a legendary magical book believed to have once belonged to the first Wizard King. Asta, humiliated and still without a grimoire, is mocked by everyone. Later, a former magic knight-turned-thief named Revchi Salak attacks Yuno to steal his grimoire. Asta bravely confronts him despite having no powers and is badly beaten. Just as Revchi is about to kill him, a mysterious black five-leaf clover grimoire manifests before Asta, granting him a massive anti-magic sword. With a single swing, Asta repels Revchi's magic and defeats him, officially setting the tone for his journey. Ione setting and world building. 1. The Clover Kingdom. A magic-based society with a rigid class system. Magic determines one's status. The more powerful your magic, the higher your worth. The ultimate goal for mages is to become Wizard King, a title signifying absolute magical authority and heroism. 2. Hage Village. A small, rural village far from the capital. Asta and Yuno are raised in a church here. The village symbolizes marginalization and being overlooked, setting the tone for the underdog narrative. II and main characters introduced. 1. Asta. No magic at all, unheard of in this world. Loud, passionate, highly physical. Trains his body obsessively as a substitute for having no magic. Driven by a strong sense of justice and an almost irrational level of determination. Dreams of becoming the Wizard King, despite being laughed at. Personality traits. Persistent. Naive but pure-hearted. Competitive, especially with Yuno. Optimistic to the point of absurdity. Philosophical core. Even if I don't have magic, I'll become the Wizard King. 2. Yuno. Calm, quiet, confident, and gifted with strong wind magic. A child prodigy with a natural elegance and talent. Received the four-leaf clover grimoire, signifying high potential. Shares Asta's goal of becoming Wizard King, but approaches it through skill and refinement. Personality traits. Stoic. Intelligent. Mature beyond his age. Loyal, especially to Asta, though he rarely shows it. 3. Revchi Salak, antagonist. A disgraced former magic knight who now steals grimoires for personal gain. Represents the corruption and desperation within the magical society. His cruelty toward Yuno and arrogance contrast with Asta's nobility. 4 key scenes and symbols. 1. The grimoire ceremony. Everyone receives a magical book that enhances their abilities, except Asta. This scene highlights society's disdain for weakness, and Asta's complete rejection from the system. 2. Yuno's four-leaf clover grimoire. Extremely rare. Associated with immense luck and potential. A symbol of destiny, Yuno is chosen by fate. 3. Asta's five-leaf clover grimoire. Even rarer than Yuno's. Associated with the devil and anti-magic. Represents the abyss, the rejected, the cursed, but also limitless potential. Hints that Asta's power is not magical, but anti-magical, a direct counter to the world's structure. Quote from the narration. A four-leaf clover grimoire brings good luck. But a five-leaf clover lies a demon. 5 themes and philosophical insights. 1. Destiny versus hard work. Yuno is chosen by destiny. Asta carves his own through effort. The series sets up the question, is fate stronger than effort, or can willpower defy destiny? 2. Rejection and worth. Asta's humiliation during the ceremony symbolizes how society rejects those who don't meet its standards. The episode questions, who decides your worth, society or yourself? 3. Brotherhood and rivalry. Asta and Yuno are rivals, but also brothers who push each other forward. Their competition is rooted in mutual respect, not jealousy. Yuno's key line to Asta, "You're my rival. That's why I'll never let you fall." 4. Power of will. Asta's anti-magic manifests not from talent, but from sheer willpower. His strength is symbolic of the idea that inner conviction can summon miracles. V1 Hidden Details, Symbolism. 1. Clover Symbolism. 3 leaves equals faith, hope, love. 4 leaves equals good luck. 5 leaves equals a demon resides. Asta's grimoire being 5-leaved implies his path is unique, borderline forbidden, yet powerful. 2. Black Sword. Asta's sword absorbs and nullifies magic, making it a literal rejection of the world's rules. It is not elegant or refined, it is raw, brutal, and primal, just like Asta. VI1 episode's role in the series. Sets the emotional and philosophical foundation of the story. Introduces the major dynamic between Asta and Yuno. Reveals the dual paths toward the Wizard King, through privilege Yuno, and struggle Asta. Teases the mysterious nature of Asta's grimoire, hinting at dark powers and a greater prophecy. VII1 Final Notes and Impact. A powerful opener that immediately defines the core identity of Black Clover. A shonen anime driven not by genius, but by grit, heart, and perseverance. Asta's scream, willpower, and sword swing at the end of the episode became iconic. The first moment Asta defies a world that tells him he's nothing, and says, no. Black Clover, Episode 2, The Boy's Promise. 1 Synopsis Plot Overview. Episode 2 begins immediately after the thrilling events of Episode 1. After receiving his mysterious 5-leaf clover grimoire, Asta defeats the rogue ex-magic knight, Revchi Salak, and saves Yuno's life. Yuno then acknowledges Asta as his rival, cementing a deep bond and competition between them. The remainder of the episode serves largely as a flashback, revealing the childhood origins of Asta and Yuno, their lives at the church orphanage, and the moment they first swore to become the Wizard King. We see how their paths diverged over time, Yuno being naturally talented with magic, while Asta remained powerless. Yet Asta never gave up. As the flashback concludes, we return to the present. Yuno thanks Asta and reiterates that he must stay strong because they both aim for the same goal, to surpass all magic knights and become the next Wizard King. The episode ends with both boys departing from Hage Village to chase their dreams. Ione world building and setting. 1. The church in Hage Village. Located on the kingdom's edge, it's a modest and humble place. Father Orsi and Sister Lily run the church and raise orphans, including Asta and Yuno. The church represents love, family, and foundational values, though lacking political or magical power. 2. Social hierarchy. The episode subtly begins to expose the structural inequality of the Clover Kingdom. Even as children, the distinction between magic and magic-less people is made painfully clear. Asta is constantly mocked and dismissed. In detailed character analysis. 1. Asta. Energetic, headstrong, and ridiculously optimistic. Powerless in a world that values only magic, Asta responds not by despairing, but by training relentlessly. Driven by a desperate desire to prove his worth, not just to the world, but also to Yuno and himself. Notable traits this episode highlights. Resilience. He's beaten, mocked, rejected, but never stops trying. Rivalry is motivation. Yuno's talent becomes the fire that pushes Asta harder. Dreamer with action. He doesn't just dream of being the Wizard King, he works for it. Even if I have no magic, I'll still become the Wizard King. 2. Yuno. Quiet and composed, but prideful and focused. Naturally talented with wind magic, making him a local prodigy. At first, he was insecure as a child, prone to crying, afraid of conflict, but after being saved by Asta once, he vowed never to cry or be weak again. Key evolution. He's the one who inspires Asta now, but it was Asta who first inspired him. His stoic personality hides a deep loyalty and bond with Asta. Asta is my rival. That's why I'll never let him fall. 3. Father Orsi and Sister Lily. Caregivers at the church. Represent moral guidance and unconditional love, treating all the children equally regardless of magical ability. Sister Lily's refusal of Asta's repeated marriage proposals is a running gag, but also underscores Asta's tenacity and unshakable will. 4. Revchi Salak. Brief recap. His attempt to steal Yuno's grimoire in episode 1 sets off the major conflict. His quick defeat by Asta proves that magic alone doesn't make one powerful, resolve and heart matter more. 4 important scenes and symbolism. 1. Asta vs. Revchi. Recap. serves to demonstrate that Asta's power comes not from magic, but from defiance, his will to never give up materialized into anti-magic power. 2. Childhood flashback. Yuno's weakness. Yuno was once frail, sensitive, and unable to fight back. Asta protects him from bullies, showing an early display of Asta's heroic spirit. This memory explains why Yuno, now strong, still respects Asta deeply. 3. The promise. A pivotal childhood moment. Both boys standing on a hill, declaring, "We'll both aim to become the Wizard King." This isn't just a goal, it's a sacred vow between brothers. The moment is symbolically lit with sunlight and wide skies, showing freedom, dreams, and limitless potential. 5 themes and philosophical ideas. 1. Brotherhood through rivalry. Asta and Yuno's dynamic goes beyond competition. Their rivalry strengthens and defines each other, pushing them to grow. Unlike toxic rivals, theirs is rooted in love and mutual aspiration. 2. Merit versus talent. Yuno is born gifted. Asta is born empty. The episode presents the classic philosophical question, can effort surpass natural talent? Asta is set up as the representation of human effort in the face of divine design. 3. Identity and self-worth. Asta's journey is a rebellion against societal expectations. He demands to be seen, not for what he lacks, but for who he chooses to become. V1 Hidden symbolism and foreshadowing. 1. The 5-leaf grimoire. Though not explained in detail yet, the 5-leaf clover hints at a darker, forbidden power. The narration from episode 1 lingers here. A devil resides in the 5th leaf. Right-pointing arrow suggests Asta's path will not be ordinary, but one of danger and darkness. 2. The chains. Revchi uses chain magic, often seen in fiction as a symbol of control, suppression, or oppression. Asta breaking those chains as metaphorical liberation, both for himself and symbolically for all who are powerless. 3. Sunlight during the promise. The warm, golden light symbolizes hope, rebirth, and the future. Their promise isn't just personal, it's the seed of a change in the entire Clover Kingdom. VI1 Impact and narrative function of Episode 2. Solidifies Asta and Yuno's bond, elevating it from coincidence to destiny. Builds emotional investment by showing their shared past and mutual respect. Establishes the core question of the series. Can someone without magic become the Wizard King? Highlights the theme that courage and resolve can be as powerful as magic. Begins to subtly foreshadow the dark forces tied to Asta's grimoire, setting up future conflicts. VII1 Conclusion. Episode 2 is slower and more introspective than the explosive premiere, but it's no less critical. It deepens our connection to the protagonists. Establishes the emotional and moral foundation of the story. Introduces the lifelong promise that will drive both characters through the entire series. Challenges the viewer with questions of fate, worth, and perseverance. Asta's cry to the world, that he will become the Wizard King even without magic, becomes more than a dream. It becomes a symbol of resistance against a society that only values power.
This entire content was created by the YouTube channel Bunday 125.
Black Clover, Episode 3, To the Royal Capital. 1 Full plot summary. Episode 3 picks up after Asta and Yuno officially receive their grimoires in episodes 1 to 2 and declares their shared dream of becoming the Wizard King. With their goals set and the rivalry established, the two now leave Hage Village to travel to the royal capital to take part in the Magic Knights entrance exam, the next major step in becoming Magic Knights. Before leaving, the entire village, including Father Orsi, Sister Lily, and the other orphans, gathers to send the two off with warm wishes and deep emotions. Asta makes yet another over-the-top marriage proposal to Sister Lily, which she, again, rejects, but he turns the moment into motivation, vowing to succeed and come back as Wizard King. As Asta and Yuno travel to the capital, the episode uses the journey to highlight the contrast between their personalities and introduce viewers to more elements of the kingdom's geography, culture, and social divisions. Upon arrival, the two are stunned by the sheer size, sophistication, and magical aura of the Clover Kingdom's royal capital. However, they are also quickly exposed to the kingdom's deep-rooted classism, especially Asta, who is ridiculed by nobles for his commoner background and wild behavior. The episode ends with the pair preparing for the Magic Knights entrance exam, as the captains of all 9 Magic Knight squads are introduced, setting the stage for the next arc. Ione world building and setting. 1. Royal capital of the Clover Kingdom. Much larger and more magically developed than Hage Village. Floating structures, flying brooms, and magical constructions showcase the centrality of magic to everyday life. The capital is divided by class: nobles at the top, commoners at the bottom. This is the world Asta and Yuno will now have to conquer, not only through strength but by navigating deep social injustice. 2. Magic Night Entrance Exam. Held annually to select new recruits. A large competition where mages display their strength, control, and potential. Those who pass are selected by captains of Magic Knight squads. II in character development and analysis. 1. Asta still has zero magical power, which shocks everyone he meets in the capital. Trains constantly and has unwavering belief in himself. Loud, passionate, and naive, but unshakably determined. Despite being looked down upon by nobles, he refuses to let them shake his confidence. Key quote: "I may not have magic, but I've got guts." Symbolism. Asta walking through the capital while being mocked by nobles represents his confrontation with the systemic bias of society: magic equals worth. 2. Yuno attracts attention and admiration instantly because of his powerful aura and the legendary four-leaf grimoire. Speaks little, but his presence is imposing. Unlike Asta, he doesn't attract ridicule, instead, he commands respect. When Asta is insulted, Yuno silently glares in disapproval, showing their bond remains intact even in the face of elitist scorn. Subtle trait shown. Yuno is quiet, but not passive, he protects Asta in his own way. 3. Father Orsi and Sister Lily give a heartfelt goodbye to Asta and Yuno. Sister Lily continues to reject Asta's marriage proposals but with love and warmth. Their farewell reminds the viewer of the humble roots both boys are leaving behind. 4 key moments and symbolism. 1. The departure from Hage Village. Asta and Yuno leaving home represents the hero's journey beginning. Their farewell is emotional, especially for the orphans, symbolizing the hope the village places on them. This moment is a rite of passage, leaving the ordinary world for the unknown. 2. Arrival at the capital. Asta is amazed by the magical structures. Contrasts sharply with the rural, magic-poor environment he came from. This shift shows the gap between rich and poor, and between the center and the periphery. 3. Nobles mocking Asta. Symbolizes class conflict and how society defines value by birth and magic. Asta's unwavering spirit despite being insulted shows his moral and psychological strength. What does it matter where I came from? I'm going to be Wizard King. 5 themes and philosophical ideas. 1. Classism and magical elitism. The Clover Kingdom is not a meritocracy, your birth determines much of your value. Magic is seen as a divine gift. Those without it are often treated as trash. Asta's very existence challenges this system. Can someone with no magic rise to the top? 2. Brotherhood beyond circumstances. Despite their growing differences in public perception, Asta and Yuno remain bonded. Their shared promise and respect for each other transcend class, skill, and appearance. 3. Ambition and the underdog mentality. Asta embraces rejection and uses it as fuel to grow. His optimism is not ignorance, it is a conscious rebellion against the rules of the world. V1 foreshadowing and hints. 1. The Magic Knight Captains ending scene. Though not all are named yet, these 9 captains represent the next major arc. Each captain leads a different squad with unique traits and values. This foreshadows where Asta and Yuno may end up. 2. Anti-magic and the 5-leaf grimoire. Asta's power is still mysterious. The nobles mock him because they can't sense magic from him, a hint that his strength lies in something entirely different. 3. The structure of the kingdom. The massive gap in magical power and social class will continue to be a core conflict. The stage is being set for Asta to fight not just enemies, but a system. Vi1 episode's narrative purpose. Transitions the story from the rural, emotional backstory to the larger magical and political world. Begins to set up the societal system. The Magic Knight squads. The journey toward becoming Wizard King. Shows the first serious friction between Asta's dreams and the world's prejudice. Vi1 conclusion. Episode 3 of Black Clover is a crucial stepping stone in the story. While it may not have high action like Episode 1, it deepens the world's social and magical structure. Highlights the disparity between Asta and Yuno's public image, despite their identical origins. Reinforces the main theme. No matter your birth, background, or power, your resolve can change the world. Asta and Yuno are now standing before the gates of power. The next battle is not just magical, it is philosophical and social. Black Clover, Episode 4, The Magic Knight's Entrance Exam. One full plot summary. Episode 4 marks a major milestone in the story. Asta and Yuno officially participate in the Magic Knight's entrance exam in the Clover Kingdom's royal capital. Held inside a massive coliseum, the exam draws hundreds of young magic users from across the kingdom. The purpose is to identify promising candidates to join one of the 9 Magic Knight squads. Each candidate must showcase their skills through a series of magical trials, and if they impress one or more captains, they'll be invited to join. Yuno's performance is flawless. He displays extraordinary skill in wind magic, easily impressing all the captains, and ends up being chosen by every squad, a rare and prestigious outcome. Meanwhile, Asta, who has no detectable magic, is mocked by nearly everyone. He struggles through the early tests that rely on magic but refuses to give up. In the final test, a one-on-one combat duel, Asta faces a cocky noble named Sek Bronzaza, who underestimates him. Despite not using magic, Asta stuns the entire arena by pulling out his massive anti-magic sword from his 5-leaf grimoire and defeating Sek in a single blow. However, no squad captain raises their hand to choose Asta, until Yami Sukahiro, captain of the Black Bulls, steps in, impressed by Asta's raw guts and power. The episode ends with Asta and Yuno both accepted into different squads, Asta into the Black Bulls, Yuno into the Golden Dawn, and both vowing once again to become the Wizard King. Ione setting and world building. 1. Magic Knight's entrance exam arena. A vast, magical coliseum filled with hundreds of candidates and overseen by the Magic Knight captains. The tests include broom flying, magic control, magic creation, precision targeting, combat duels. The exam serves as a sorting mechanism to recruit elite warriors who will defend the Clover Kingdom. 2. The 9 Magic Knight squads. Each squad has a distinct personality, leadership style, and purpose. Introduced briefly and visually in this episode. Golden Dawn, Black Bulls, Silver Eagles, Crimson Lion Kings, Blue Rose Knights, Coral Peacocks, Green Mantis, Purple Orcus, Azure Deer. Each is led by a captain with unique magical abilities and personalities. II and detailed character analysis. 1. Asta. No magic, yet never gives up. Fails every magic-based test. Cannot even ride a broom. However, in the combat round, his anti-magic sword astonishes the audience. Shows incredible strength, speed, and fighting spirit. Not chosen by any captain, until Yami, recognizing his spirit, recruits him into the Black Bulls. Even without magic, I will become the Wizard King. Key traits. Stubbornly optimistic. Physically strong. Anti-establishment energy. Rebellious, but pure-hearted. 2. Yuno. Perfect in every test, elegant in form and power. Demonstrates refined wind magic with ease. Impresses all captains, all squads offer him a spot. Chooses the most prestigious squad. Golden Dawn, the squad most closely linked to royalty. This is only the first step. I will become the Wizard King. Key traits. Naturally gifted. Quiet and serious. Ambitious, but loyal. Prideful yet humble. 3. Yami Sukahiro. Captain of the Black Bulls. Large, intimidating man with a dark, wild appearance. Uses dark magic and speaks with an aggressive tone. Instantly intrigued by Asta's attitude and sword, recognizes his raw potential. You've got guts, kid. I like that. Represents unorthodox thinking. Acceptance of outcasts. Strength through spirit, not class. 4. Sekke Bronzaza. A self-important noble who picks Asta for the duel, thinking he's easy to defeat. Uses bronze magic, creates a mechanical, bronze bike. Humiliated by Asta's single attack. Symbolizes nobility without substance, someone who lives off status, not merit. 4 key scenes and symbolism. 1. Asta vs. Sek. Sek mocks Asta for having no magic. Asta knocks him out in one strike using anti-magic. Symbolizes the idea of inner strength greater than inherited status. 2. The squad selection moment. All captains raise their hands for Yuno. None raise their hands for Asta, until Yam won. Asta proves that recognition doesn't have to come from everyone, one person seeing your worth is enough. 3. The sword. Asta's sword absorbs and deflects magic. It's heavy, crude, and intimidating, reflects Asta's raw, unrefined willpower. A magical system breaker, he doesn't use magic, he counters it. 5 themes and philosophical concepts. 1. The value of effort versus talent. Yuno equals talent, Asta equals effort. The episode doesn't claim one is better, but shows that both can lead to greatness in different ways. 2. Rebellion against classism. Nobles, like Sek, assume power belongs only to the elite. Asta's very presence, and his defeat of Sek, challenges the class-based system. 3. Identity and recognition. Asta is overlooked and dismissed until someone sees his spirit and determination. True worth isn't always visible, some strengths exist outside the system's metrics. 4. Brotherhood despite division. Even though they are selected into different squads, the best versus the worst, Yuno and Asta remain loyal rivals. Their promise binds them, despite the kingdom's attempts to divide them. V1 Foreshadowing and Hints. 1. Yuno's 4-leaf grimoire. Hints at a legendary destiny tied to the kingdom's origins and the first wizard king. 2. Asta's 5-leaf grimoire. Its demonic nature remains unexplored, but its power clearly unsettles the captains. Yami may know something deeper about anti-magic. 3. Squad differences. The Black Bulls are known as the worst squad, wild, destructive, chaotic. The Golden Dawn is the most elite. Right pointing arrow. This sets up a contrast between chaotic rebellion versus disciplined power. VI1 episode's narrative function. This episode serves a foundational role in the series. Introduces the Magic Knight structure, a central part of the story. Places both Asta and Yuno in opposing paths, one from privilege, one from rejection. Defines the world's social and magical hierarchy. Sets up Yami as a major mentor figure. Establishes the next arc, Asta's induction into the Black Bulls. VII1 Conclusion. Episode 4 is one of the most important turning points in Black Clover's early arc. It validates Yuno's talent, justifies Asta's perseverance, introduces the rigid, elitist system of the Clover Kingdom, introduces new characters and factions that will shape the journey ahead. More importantly, it answers a key question. What do you do when no one believes in you? Answer. You keep standing, and let your sword speak for you. Black Clover, Episode 5, The Black Bulls. 1 full plot summary. After being accepted into the Black Bulls by Captain Yami Sukahiro during the Magic Knight's entrance exam, Episode 4, Asta begins his new life as a Magic Knight in this episode. The episode begins with Asta arriving at the Black Bulls headquarters, located in a forested region far from the royal capital. The headquarters itself is a mysterious, chaotic, crumbling mansion, filled with eccentric characters and a wild, unruly atmosphere. As Asta meets his new squadmates, he quickly realizes that the Black Bulls are considered the worst squad in the Clover Kingdom, a band of misfits, delinquents, and oddballs. However, they have real power beneath their madness. After a chaotic welcome party full of explosions and fighting, Captain Yami officially welcomes Asta to the squad. He then gives him a baptism task: clean the entire Black Bulls hideout by himself. Asta takes it seriously, showing his dedication even to the most menial tasks. Later, Yami gives Asta his squad robe, marking his official induction into the Black Bulls. The episode ends with Asta finally wearing his robe proudly, ready to take on the world, despite the odds. Ione world building and setting expansion. 1. The Black Bulls headquarters. Located in the outskirts of the Clover Kingdom. The hideout is a magic-enhanced building, yet its chaotic design reflects the squad's wild personality. Often explodes or transforms due to misfired spells. Symbolizes freedom and rebellion, contrasting the strict, noble-oriented headquarters of squads like the Golden Dawn. 2. Magic Knight culture. Squad culture varies. Some are elite and orderly. Others are chaotic and accepting, like the Bulls. The Black Bulls are feared by the public due to their reputation for destruction, but the episode hints at deep camaraderie and unorthodox strength. II character introductions and analysis. This episode introduces several key Black Bulls members, each with distinct personalities and powers. 1. Yami Sukahiro. Captain of the Black Bulls. Commands with a mix of intimidation and bizarre humor. Tests Asta's resolve constantly. Believes in instinct, and recruits based on guts, not nobility or magic power. You'll fight, you'll eat, you'll sleep. And if you mess up, I'll kill you. Symbolizes individual strength through chaos. Leadership through intuition and trust, not rules. 2. Finral Rule a case. The squad's teleportation mage. Uses spatial magic to open portals. Flirtatious and superficial, but kind and helpful. Acts as a comedic character but plays a major support role. 3. Magna Swing. Hot-blooded fire mage who first challenges Asta to a fight. Tests Asta's resolve but quickly becomes one of his closest comrades. Despite a rough attitude, he respects determination and underdogs. Welcome to the Black Bulls, punk. 4. Vanessa Enoteka. Mysterious, sultry woman who's always drinking wine. Uses thread magic, revealed later. She's calm, elegant, and provides contrast to the other wild members. 5. Luck Voltia cameo-like. Constantly smiling and battle-obsessed. Though he only appears briefly, he radiates an unsettling excitement for violence. 6. Charmy Papatson, brief introduction. Tiny girl obsessed with food. Adds a layer of comic relief. 4. Asta's growth in this episode. 1. Immediate conflict. Asta walks into chaos. Spells flying, people fighting, tables exploding. But instead of being intimidated, he adapts quickly and eagerly declares he'll fit in. 2. House cleaning trial. Yami tasks Asta with cleaning the enormous, unstable headquarters. Despite it being degrading work, Asta attacks the job with full strength and even uses his sword to slash away magical messes. This is a metaphor for Asta's approach to everything. Even if it's beneath others, he does it with full passion. 3. Receiving the robe. Yami finally hands him the Black Bull's robe. This moment signifies acceptance and identity. Asta is no longer an outcast. He's part of something, even if it's chaotic. 5 key scenes and symbolism. 1. The Black Bull's hideout. The design of the HQ reflects the squad's spirit, nonconformity, disorder, and freedom. Unlike the noble, pristine architecture of the capital, this place feels alive and untamed. 2. The robe ceremony. Asta standing in the center of the wild room, holding his robe up with pride, symbolizes his first real victory. He is no longer just a magicless peasant, he's now part of something official and strong. 3. Yami's gaze. Throughout the episode, Yami watches Asta silently. He's not just testing him, he's gauging his spirit, and sees a bit of himself in Asta. V1 Core themes and philosophical ideas. 1. Belonging without conformity. Asta finds a family in the Black Bulls, a place that accepts misfits. The theme here is that you don't have to change to belong, you just need the right people around you. 2. Respect through action. Asta isn't respected because of his grimoire or status. He earns respect through his work ethic and heart. 3. Chaos as a home. The Black Bulls are chaotic and unruly, but their bond is real. This shows that order isn't always strength, sometimes, freedom breeds power. 4. Leadership through instinct. Yami doesn't follow rules or nobility. He trusts his instincts and sees potential where others don't, a commentary on how true leaders recognize unseen strength. VI1 Foreshadowing and setups. 1. Asta's sword use. Even when cleaning, Asta uses his anti-magic sword, a nod to his unique approach to problem solving, brute effort, no shortcuts. 2. The Black Bulls members. Though only briefly introduced, this episode plants seeds for future character arcs. Each member has unique magic and a backstory, and their chaotic appearances mask deep emotional layers. 3. Yami's judgment. Yami's calm but observant demeanor hints at a deeper understanding of magic and anti-magic. He may know more about Asta's power than he lets on. VII-1 episode's narrative function. Establishes the core setting for many upcoming episodes. Black Bulls HQ. Introduces the squad dynamics, unorthodox, rowdy, but loyal. Gives Asta a place to grow, despite the world rejecting him. Marks the true beginning of Asta's life as a magic knight. 9 Conclusion. Episode 5 is about transition, from outsider to insider, from dream to reality. Asta is now part of the Black Bulls, a squad that represents chaos over order, effort over status, Freedom over rules. The Black Bulls may be misfits in the eyes of the Clover Kingdom, but they are exactly the kind of warriors Asta needs, and perhaps, exactly what the kingdom needs too. Asta, the boy with no magic, has found his family. Now, his real fight begins. Black Clover, Episode 6, The Black Bull's Base. One full plot summary. Episode 6 begins with Asta continuing to settle into his new life as a member of the Black Bulls, one of the most chaotic and notorious Magic Knight squads in the Clover Kingdom. The episode mainly focuses on Asta being introduced more formally to the other Black Bull members. Asta receiving his first official mission. Further establishing the tone and culture of the Black Bulls. The episode opens with Asta waking up in the Black Bull's hideout and doing his early morning training routine, which surprises and slightly alarms his new squadmates. He's extremely loud, determined, and enthusiastic, in complete contrast to the laid-back or eccentric personalities around him. Asta is then brought into the main hall and introduced to the entire Black Bulls team, many of whom he hadn't met yet. Captain Yami explains that before going on missions, a new recruit must prove themselves by doing basic chores and earning trust. After more comedic interactions and a clothing destruction accident caused by one of the members, Finral teleports Asta to the Clover Kingdom's capital to receive his first Magic Knight mission from the Black Bull's contact in the Magic Knight's headquarters. Asta receives a scroll detailing a low-level task, exterminating wild boars attacking a village. Despite the simplicity of the mission, Asta takes it seriously and shows his eagerness to grow. The episode ends with Magna Swing being assigned to accompany him on the mission, setting up the action for the next episode. Ione Black Bulls HQ, Setting and Symbolism. The Black Bulls hideout continues to serve as a narrative mirror for Asta's inner journey. A place full of disorder, chaos, and destruction. Yet it holds loyalty, family, and unconventional strength. While other Magic Knight squads live in pristine, noble-designed barracks, the Bulls' home feels like a cross between a madhouse and a family lodge. The Black Bull's base is alive with magic, randomly shifting and breaking itself, a direct symbol of freedom from structure. This home reflects Asta's own potential, wild, untamed, and unique. And detailed character introductions. In this episode, we get a fuller look at the Black Bull's roster beyond those shown in Episode 5. 1. Vanessa Enoteka. Always drinking wine. Flirtatious and relaxed. Seems lazy, but there are hints of wisdom and calm beneath her carefree exterior. Uses thread magic not fully explored yet. 2. Luck Voltia. Always smiling, disturbingly obsessed with fighting strong enemies. Nicknamed the Battle Maniac. Uses lightning magic. His behavior is childlike and cheerful, but clearly unpredictable and potentially dangerous. 3. Gordon Agrippa. Speaks in an extremely quiet voice, almost inaudible. Mysterious and socially awkward. Seems sweet, but his appearance is creepy. Possibly connected to poison or curse-based magic, not confirmed yet. 4. Gauche Adlai. Brief appearance. Quiet, carries a photo of a young girl, his sister Marie. Obsessed with her. Doesn't interact much in this episode but hints at a socially dysfunctional personality. 5. Charmy Papatson. Obsessed with food. Small, seemingly harmless, but unpredictable. Has a hidden strength, implied later in the series. Her love for food dominates her personality. 4. Asta's character development. 1. Fitting into chaos. Asta doesn't just tolerate the madness of the Bulls, he thrives in it. His over-the-top energy matches their eccentricity, which creates a feeling of natural belonging. 2. Earnestness in small tasks. Though the mission seems trivial, Asta treats it like a major event. Shows his humility and sincerity, every opportunity is a chance to grow. 3. Relationship with Magna. Magna acts like a big brother figure, gruff but supportive. Their dynamic starts forming here and becomes more central in later episodes. 5. Key scenes and symbolism. 1. Training at dawn. Asta wakes up early and works out aggressively. Symbolizes his will to surpass others despite lacking magic. Contrasts heavily with the Bull's relaxed, lazy attitude. 2. Clothing destruction gag. Vanessa's spell misfires and Asta ends up half-naked in front of everyone. Comic relief, but also a metaphor for exposure and vulnerability in a new environment. 3. Receiving the first mission. Asta takes even a wild boar hunt seriously. The mission scroll symbolizes entry into real service, even if humble. V1 themes and philosophical meanings. 1. Belonging without perfection. The bulls are all flawed, strange, are socially outcast, but their strength is real. This challenges the elitist view that only polished, noble mages are worthy. 2. Respect is earned, not given. Asta isn't treated like a full comrade until he starts doing work and showing commitment. The episode reinforces that trust takes time, especially among misfits. 3. Freedom is a virtue. The Black Bull's disorder reflects a philosophy of freedom. People grow best when not chained by hierarchy or formality. Asta, unchained from expectations, can finally grow into his true self. 4. Identity through action. Asta doesn't speak of greatness, he works for it. Even when the mission seems small, he sees it as a chance to be worthy of the Wizard King dream. VI1 foreshadowing and future setups. 1. Magna and Asta's team up. Magna being assigned to Asta sets up their first mission in episode 7. Their chemistry will be critical for Asta's development. 2. Charmy, Gordon, Gauche, hidden strength. These characters seem like comic relief or side characters, but later become key players. Their brief but memorable appearances foreshadow that each has unique power or trauma. 3. Asta's work ethic. Asta doesn't see small things as meaningless. This quality will distinguish him from other knights, even those more powerful. VII1 narrative function of the episode. This episode deepens the viewer's understanding of the Black Bull's culture, introduces essential squad members, begins the real work life of a magic knight, shows that strength isn't just about magic, it's also about attitude, respect, and growth. 9. Conclusion. Episode the 6th of may not contain a major battle, but it is crucial for world building and character foundation. It cements the following. The Black Bulls are more than misfits, they are a found family. Asta, despite being born magicless, finally has a place where effort and grit matter more than bloodline. The journey from dreamer to warrior starts not in grand battles, but in mundane missions and humble effort. Even the smallest mission is a step toward becoming the Wizard King. Asta paraphrased. Black Clover, Episode 7, another new member. 1 full plot summary. Episode 7 picks up immediately after Asta is assigned his first official mission, to investigate and eliminate a group of rampaging boars terrorizing Saucy Village, accompanied by his squadmate Magna Swing. The episode starts with Magna and Asta traveling to the mission site, where Magna shows off his attitude as a senior Black Bull, acting like a mentor to Asta, albeit in a loud, exaggerated way. During the trip, Magna shares how Captain Yami gave him a chance despite his commoner status, which deeply resonates with Asta. They bond over being underdogs, both determined to prove themselves. Upon arriving at Saucy Village, Asta and Magna discover that the villagers are frightened, but not just because of wild boars. In fact, a group of rogue mages have invaded the village and are attacking the people using ice magic, threatening to freeze everyone unless they hand over their resources. This is Asta's first real combat mission against enemy mages. Asta, witnessing the villagers being harmed, rushes in fearlessly and deflects the enemy's spells with his anti-magic sword, shocking both the villagers and the enemy mages. Magna follows up with a powerful fireball spell, and together they drive the enemies into a full battle. The episode ends mid-fight, setting up for a dramatic conclusion in the next episode. Ione setting and world building. 1. Saucy Village. A poor, remote village with no protection. Symbolizes the forgotten and unguarded parts of the Clover Kingdom. Reflects a theme. While the kingdom prioritizes nobles and major cities, villages like Saucy are vulnerable. 2. Rogue mages. The attackers are ex-magic knights turned criminals. They use ice magic, which visually contrasts with Asta and Magna's more physical and fiery styles. This introduces the concept of fallen magic users, those who abuse their power for selfish ends. 3. Class struggle continues. The rogue mages mock Magna and Asta for being from a trash squad. This reinforces the Clover Kingdom's obsession with magical power and social rank, and how the Black Bulls are looked down upon even by criminals. II and character development. 1. Asta. First time facing real enemies with malicious intent. Shows courage, reflexes, and instinct in protecting civilians. His anti-magic sword proves extremely effective in battle, even against powerful spells. Maintains his idealism, protecting the innocent comes first, regardless of the enemy's strength. I'll protect them. No matter what it takes. 2. Magna swing. Acts as Asta's senior and guide. Reveals his humble background and how Yami believed in him when no one else did. Magna's loyalty to Yami and his determination to live up to the Black Bull's name shows through. He transitions from comedic tough guy to a more mature, responsible figure. I was just a punk until Yami gave me a reason to fight. 3. Villagers. Represent the common people of the kingdom, weak, vulnerable, and often neglected. Their awe at seeing magic knights actually protect them speaks volumes about the state of neglect many villages endure. 4. Rogue mages. Antagonists who were once magic knights themselves. Serve as a warning of what can happen when magic is used without morality or duty. Also reflect the theme that being given power doesn't make you righteous. 4 key scenes and symbolism. 1. The journey to Saucy. Magna and Asta bond during the journey. Represents mentor-student dynamics, and the building of trust within the Black Bulls. 2. Magna's flashback. Short scene where Yami recruits Magna. Highlights Yami's knack for spotting raw potential, just like he did with Asta. Reinforces that the Black Bulls are a home for those discarded by society. 3. Asta blocking magic. His anti-magic sword cuts through an enemy's spell like it's air. Symbolizes disruption. Asta doesn't just survive in this magic-dominated world. He breaks its rules. 4. Citizens in awe. The villagers react in disbelief. Magic knights are actually helping them. This conveys how disconnected the magic knights are from real people, and how rare true service is. 5 themes and philosophical ideas. 1. Real heroism is service. Protecting powerless villagers means more than winning a prestigious duel. The idea of being a magic knight is redefined, not about fame, but duty. 2. Commoner strength. Asta and Magna represent the grit and resilience of the lower class. Despite being mocked and overlooked, they take action where others won't. 3. Redemption through belief. Yami believed in Magna, Magna believes in Asta. This cycle of trust enables growth. The show highlights the power of being believed in, especially for the outcast. 4. Magic does not equal morality. Just because someone has magic doesn't mean they're a hero. The rogue mages were once magic knights. Their fall from grace illustrates that power needs a moral compass. V1 foreshadowing and setups. 1. Asta's first real fight. Asta's raw strength is real, but he still lacks experience. The fight sets up future battles where he'll need to grow strategically. 2. Magna's growth as a mentor. His leadership role hints at deeper loyalty and possible future sacrifices. 3. Role of the Black Bulls. Though mocked, the Bulls are doing the jobs no one else wants. This positions them as underdog heroes, possibly destined to reshape how the kingdom sees worth. Vi1 episode's narrative function. This episode marks several turning points. Asta's first real combat mission. Magna's transformation from a hothead to a capable leader. A shift in tone, from training and comedy to real-world danger and responsibility. Further establishes the Black Bulls as outcast protectors, not just chaotic misfits. VII1 conclusion. Episode 7 of Black Clover is the moment where the series begins to explore what it truly means to be a magic knight. While previous episodes focused on humor and squad introductions, this episode delivers. First real action. The beginning of Asta's transformation from dreamer to fighter. The emergence of real-world problems, inequality, abandonment, criminal magic users. A stronger sense of purpose for the Black Bulls, especially in helping those neglected by the kingdom. Even without magic, I can make a difference. Asta. Asta doesn't just want to be Wizard King anymore. Now, he's showing us why he deserves to be. Black Clover, Episode 8. Go. Go. First mission. 1 full plot summary. Episode 8 continues directly from the events of Episode 7, where Asta and Magna have arrived in Saucy Village for their first mission, only to find the villagers under attack by rogue mages using ice magic. The episode kicks off with the confrontation between the Black Bulls and the rogue mages escalating into a full-scale magical battle. Asta, wielding his anti-magic sword, deflects and nullifies incoming spells, while Magna fights with explosive fire magic. During the fight, the leader of the rogue mages, Heath Grice, reveals himself. He is a cruel and powerful mage who believes in survival of the fittest, and sees the villagers as weak and disposable. He demonstrates strong ice magic techniques and overwhelming mana control. Despite Asta and Magna's teamwork, Heath's power proves formidable. In the midst of battle, Magna nearly exhausts his magic reserves. Asta, through brute strength and relentless determination, pushes forward and blocks one of Heath's large-scale ice attacks, even at the risk of injury. Asta's performance inspires hope in the villagers, who had never seen a magic knight risk their lives for commoners before. Magna then combines the last of his magic power with Asta's momentum, launching a final fiery attack that blasts through Heath's magic, defeating him. After the battle, Asta collapses from fatigue but is comforted by the thankful villagers. Just as the mission seems complete, Magna discovers that Heath's grimoire and body vanish into thin air, suggesting a dark force backing him. The episode ends with a chilling glimpse, an unknown cloaked figure watching from afar, hinting that this attack was just the beginning of something much bigger. Ione world building and new elements. 1. Rogue mages and terror attacks. Heath and his team's attack on a random village hints at a coordinated effort to sow chaos in the Clover Kingdom. This suggests the presence of an underground force or organization. 2. Magic power disparity. Heath's overwhelming magical power demonstrates the gap between high-level mages and commoners like Magna. Yet Asta's anti-magic allows him to level the playing field, representing a wildcard in the world's balance of power. 3. Grimoire disintegration. Heath's disappearance and the disintegration of his grimoire are unnatural. This suggests the use of forbidden or advanced magical methods, possibly from a clandestine group. II and character analysis. 1. Asta shows real combat growth, not just slashing wildly, but adapting to an enemy's rhythm. Displays classic shonen traits: bravery, unbreakable spirit, protectiveness of the weak. Continues to embody the idea that true strength comes from heart, not just magic. You'll never hurt them while I'm here. 2. Magna swing. Pushes past his own limits despite being low on magic. Reveals deeper courage and loyalty, not just bravado. Acts like a true senior, trusting and backing Asta's instincts and energy. That kid. Maybe he really can become the Wizard King someday. 3. Heath Grice antagonist. A fanatic who believes in natural selection and magical superiority. Represents the darker, elitist philosophy prevalent in parts of the Clover Kingdom. Cares nothing for life, attacks the village as an experiment or test. 4. The villagers. Their fear turning into admiration shows how genuine protectors are rare. Their presence reinforces the show's message: true knighthood means defending the defenseless. 4 key scenes and symbolism. 1. Asta blocking the ice lance. Symbolizes resistance to oppression. He literally stands between the villagers and death, a visual metaphor for anti-tyranny. 2. Magna's last fireball. With his magic almost gone, Magna still gives his all. A flaming attack fueled by pride and belief in Asta symbolizes passing the torch to the next generation. 3. Heath's words. He constantly refers to weak people as trash. Reflects the kingdom's darker ideology, that worth is determined by power. Asta's existence completely invalidates this thinking. 5 themes and philosophical ideas. 1. True strength is courage, not power. Asta, who has no magic, defeats a powerful ice mage through grit and spirit. Undermines the idea that power equals superiority. 2. Protecting the weak defines a knight. The villagers symbolize everyday people who rarely see true justice. Asta's protection of them reclaims the original purpose of the Magic Knights: to serve all, not just the nobles. 3. Sacrifice and loyalty. Magna's willingness to burn through all his magic reinforces the theme of loyalty to comrades and duty. 4. Corruption within the system. Heath was once a Magic Knight, but turned rogue. Suggests that not all in the Magic Knight Order are noble, foreshadowing future internal threats. V1 foreshadowing and future setups. 1. The disappearing grimoire. Unnatural, hints at forbidden or enhanced magic. Might be linked to an underground organization, later revealed as the Eye of the Midnight Sun. 2. Cloaked figure watching. Suggests that this was a test attack or scouting mission. Indicates that larger forces are manipulating events behind the scenes. 3. Asta's heroism gains attention. Although this mission was minor, Asta's actions are setting him on a path to fame and influence. Builds his reputation among the people, unlike noble-born knights. VI1 episode's narrative purpose. This episode accomplishes several key goals. Concludes Asta's first real combat mission with real stakes. Establishes him and Magna as capable magic knights in action, not just theory. Introduces the first real villains and hints at a hidden war behind the scenes. Further solidifies the ideological clash between Asta and the elitist magic society. VII-1 Conclusion. Episode 8 of Black Clover is the moment when Asta becomes a real protector, not just a dreamer. Magna shows he is more than just a hot-headed side character, he's a symbol of rising commoner pride. The Clover Kingdom's cracks begin to show, hinting at greater corruption and conflict to come. I don't need magic, I've got a reason to fight. Asta. This episode defines the heart of Black Clover, that no matter where you come from, or what you were born without, you can rise up, fight back, and protect what matters. Black Clover, Episode 9, Beasts. 1 Full plot summary. Episode 9 continues directly after Asta and Magna's victory in Saucy Village. Just as they think the mission is over, the defeated rogue mage Heath Grice suddenly rises again. It turns out he and his men had magical self-destruct spells embedded in their bodies, indicating involvement with a powerful secret organization. Before Asta and Magna can interrogate Heath, he self-destructs using forbidden magic. The explosion is devastating, and Heath and his grimoire are destroyed, leaving no trace behind. This leaves Asta and Magna with disturbing questions. This wasn't just a random attack, but a targeted operation. Back at the capital, the Black Bulls are rewarded for their mission. However, while Asta and Magna are recognized, the Magic Knight's headquarters barely acknowledges the danger the rogue mages posed. Meanwhile, Julius Novachrono, the Wizard King, secretly investigates the magical traces left behind by the villains. Later in the episode, Asta returns to the Black Bull's base, where he is welcomed warmly. Meanwhile, Yuno, Asta's rival, is seen fighting off bandits in Hage Village. His powerful wind magic and the four-leaf grimoire allow him to defeat them easily, reinforcing his growth. The episode ends with the first appearance of mysterious cloaked enemies watching the events unfold, referring to Saucy Village as an experiment. This suggests the beginning of a larger war brewing in the shadows. Ione world building and organizational reveals. 1. Forbidden magic. Heath's suicide spell is confirmed to be forbidden magic, something ordinary mages cannot use. This implies the existence of dark arts and a criminal organization with access to forbidden knowledge. 2. The Eye of the Midnight Sun, implied. Though not yet named, the cloaked figures at the end are early glimpses of the Eye of the Midnight Sun, a terrorist group that seeks to destabilize the Clover Kingdom. Their experiment on Saucy Village was a test of the Magic Knight's response. 3. The Wizard King's involvement. Julius Novachrono, though not fully introduced yet, begins to investigate these strange magical occurrences, hinting at greater dangers ahead. He suspects that something deeper is unraveling within the kingdom. II character analysis. 1. Asta. Traumatized by Heath's suicide, it's the first time he sees an enemy die violently in front of him. Grapples with the seriousness of being a magic knight, it's not just about dreams. It's life and death. Returns from the mission stronger, wiser, and more determined. Even if I have no magic, I won't let anyone else suffer. 2. Magna swing. Acts as Asta's moral support and senior figure. Shaken by the forbidden magic, but hides his fear behind bluster. His loyalty to Captain Yami and the Black Bulls grows even deeper. 3. Yuno. Seen protecting Hage Village from bandits, showing he hasn't forgotten his roots. Easily defeats the attackers with refined wind magic, proving his superior growth. Silent, stoic, and focused on surpassing Asta. I'll become the Wizard King, and I'll do it my way. 4. Julius Novachrono, Wizard King. Observes the aftermath of the attack. Recognizes the magical residue as non-standard. Portrayed as intelligent, calm, and mysteriously aware of underground threats. 4 key scenes and symbolism. 1. Heath's death by self-destruction. Visually intense and narratively jarring. Symbolizes devotion to a higher, dangerous ideology. Shows that magic is not inherently good, it depends on who wields it and why. 2. Yuno defending Hage Village. Symbolic mirror to Asta's mission. While Asta protects strangers, Yuno protects their shared hometown. Represents their parallel growth paths. 3. The cloaked figures. They refer to the mission as an experiment, showing they see people as disposable pawns. Introduces the moral rot beneath the kingdom's surface. 5 themes and philosophical ideas. 1. Innocence lost. Asta's confrontation with death shows the shift from idealistic dreaming to brutal reality. This is a rite of passage for any warrior, understanding what it means to take a life, or see it taken. 2. The value of life. Heath willingly self-destructs for his cause, showing how twisted belief systems can strip life of meaning. Contrasts with Asta's belief that every life matters, even strangers. 3. Hidden enemies and corruption. The rogue mages and cloaked figures suggest that the real threats are unseen, and not all danger comes from the battlefield. Symbolic of political or ideological corruption, a dark cancer growing inside the kingdom. 4. Strength comes in many forms. Asta and Yuno both protect people, but in different ways. The episode reinforces the idea that there's more than one path to greatness. V1 foreshadowing and future setups. 1. Forbidden magic organizations. The cloaked figures are the first clear hint of the Eye of the Midnight Sun. Future episodes will explore their motives, revenge, war, and resurrection of ancient powers. 2. Julius the Watcher. The Wizard King is shown not as a politician, but as an active observer, willing to get involved when necessary. His quiet attention to Asta's and Yuno's growth hints at future mentorship. 3. Yuno's role in Hage. His defense of the orphanage foreshadows his deep connection to home and legacy. May set up future decisions where Yuno must choose between power and people. VI1 episode's narrative function. This episode transitions the series from new recruit missions to kingdom-level conflict. Introduces the idea that enemy forces are organized and strategic. Begins the morality shift from battle is glory to battle is survival. Parallels Asta and Yuno's paths, showing both are rising, but through very different experiences. VII1 conclusion. Episode 9, Beasts, marks a turning point in Black Clover. It elevates the story from personal ambitions to national security, secret magical terrorism, ethical dilemmas about power and belief. Asta emerges not just as a loud, hopeful rookie, but as someone who has tasted the cost of heroism. I'll never let anyone die again. Not while I can still move. At the same time, Yuno's quiet brilliance solidifies the rivalry, not as enemies, but as two heroes walking separate, challenging paths. Black Clover, Episode 10, Those Who Protect. 1 full plot summary. Episode 10 follows the aftermath of the first major mission at Saucy Village and serves as a reflective and emotionally grounded episode, with key developments for both Asta and Yuno. The episode begins with Asta and Magna returning triumphantly to the Black Bull's hideout. They are greeted as heroes, and the squad throws a rowdy celebration in classic Black Bulls fashion. Despite the chaos, Asta reflects on the battle with Heath Grice, particularly the harsh reality of dealing with death, violence, and threats to innocent people. Meanwhile, the story shifts to Yuno, who has stayed behind in Hage Village, their orphanage hometown. Yuno is shown helping rebuild after defending the village from bandits. His actions are quiet but impactful, gaining the respect of the villagers. There is a tender flashback to Asta and Yuno's childhood, emphasizing their shared dream of becoming the Wizard King, a title that, for them, isn't just about power, but about protecting the people they love. Toward the end of the episode, Julius Novachrono, the Wizard King, is seen investigating magical remains from recent incidents. He determines that these are not random events, but part of a larger, coordinated conspiracy involving forbidden magic. The episode closes with Asta, Magna, and the Black Bulls preparing for future missions, while Yuno returns to Golden Dawn HQ, both boys ready to continue their divergent, yet parallel, paths. Ione character development. 1. Asta. Now fully accepted as a member of the Black Bulls. Shows maturity as he reflects on the consequences of battle. His optimism remains strong, but there's a noticeable shift toward inner strength and responsibility. Protecting people is what a magic knight does. And I'm going to keep getting stronger. 2. Magna swing. Proud of Asta's growth and bravery. Begins seeing Asta not just as a rookie, but as a true comrade. His mentorship style evolves into brotherhood. 3. Yuno. Quietly heroic, doesn't seek praise. His strength is impressive, but his humility is even more so. Still driven by his rivalry with Asta, but also shows love for their hometown. There's nothing to thank me for. I just did what anyone should do. 4. Julius Novachrono, Wizard King. Calm, calculating, and curious. Demonstrates an ability to detect complex magical signatures. Shows growing concern over emerging threats in the kingdom. II and setting and world building. 1. Clover Kingdom Magic Knight Culture. This episode deepens our understanding of what magic knights are truly meant to do: protect people, not just compete for power. Asta's ideals challenge the nobility-dominated culture, focusing instead on service and sacrifice. 2. The Magic Knight Squads. We see a bit more of how the Black Bulls function, disorderly but united. In contrast, Golden Dawn, Yuno's squad, is more formal, elite, and respected. 3. Hage Village. Symbolizes innocence and humble beginnings. Its people admire Yuno and Asta not because of their magic, but because they return to protect their own. 4 key scenes and symbolism. 1. Asta reflecting on the mission. Not a moment of triumph, but one of introspection. Shows Asta grappling with the real weight of his responsibilities as a knight. 2. Yuno rebuilding the village. Symbolizes how power should be used to heal, not just to fight. Reinforces his connection to his roots despite his elite status. 3. Flashback to their vows. Asta and Yuno standing in the field as children, promising to become Wizard King. It's a moment of shared innocence, ambition, and loyalty, the emotional heart of the rivalry. 4. Julius and the Magical Traces. Shows a more mysterious, detective-like side to the Wizard King. Suggests that while the Magic Knights deal with surface battles, Julius is fighting a deeper, hidden war. 5 themes and philosophical meanings. 1. What it means to protect. The title, Those Who Protect, directly asks, what makes someone worthy of power? Protection is not about pride or glory, it's about self-sacrifice and heart. 2. Heroism is quiet. Yuno's silent aid to Hage contrasts with Asta's boisterous return. Both are heroes in different ways, reinforcing the idea that strength takes many forms. 3. The burden of power. Asta begins realizing that being strong means bearing the weight of others' lives. The episode subtly questions whether the kingdom's current magic knights truly understand this burden. 4. Loyalty to one's origins. Both Asta and Yuno, despite joining powerful squads, still prioritize their home village. This loyalty grounds them morally and emotionally, preventing arrogance. V1 foreshadowing and future setups. 1. Julius's investigation. Sets the stage for uncovering the Eye of the Midnight Sun. Implies that more coordinated attacks, or worse, are coming. 2. Asta's role among the Black Bulls. His respect within the squad is growing. He is no longer just a noisy rookie, he's becoming a pillar of strength. 3. Yuno's mysterious growth. His power and four-leaf grimoire continue to grow in significance. He may become a target of envy or manipulation from others. VI1 episode's narrative function. This episode acts as a bridge. From simple missions to deeper conspiracies. From rookies to true magic knights. From raw potential to tested character. It provides emotional recovery after the previous battle and builds anticipation for darker story arcs to come. VII1 conclusion. Episode 10 of Black Clover, Those Who Protect, is a quiet yet powerful character-driven episode. While there's no large-scale combat, it is rich in emotional growth and narrative setup. Asta and Yuno, though separated physically, remain deeply connected in purpose. Asta protects with brute force and loud conviction. Yuno protects with calm precision and silent loyalty. And in the shadows, the Wizard King begins to unravel the mystery behind the forbidden magic. A storm is coming. We'll both protect this world, and race to the top. Asta and Yuno, in spoken bond. Black Clover, Episode 11. What happened on a certain day in the castle town? 1 full plot summary. The episode opens with a change of pace. Rather than a battle or mission, this episode focuses on Asta's first visit to the royal capital, along with Noel Silva, a fellow Black Bull. Captain Yami sends them to the capital on an errand to deliver a report about the Saucy Village incident. At the castle town, Asta is overjoyed by the size, luxury, and magical atmosphere. It's a dream come true for a peasant who grew up in the tiny Hage village. Noelle, on the other hand, is uncomfortable and anxious, as her noble family's reputation looms over her. While exploring the marketplace, Asta, being friendly and enthusiastic, quickly makes friends with a little girl named Rebecca, her younger siblings, and a few commoner townsfolk. He plays with the kids and bonds with them instantly, showcasing his natural charisma and sense of justice. Suddenly, a group of arrogant nobles, young magic knights from a prestigious squad, arrive in the square. They begin to bully and harass the commoners, mocking their status and even using magic to intimidate them. Asta is enraged. Asta steps in to defend the townspeople, and a tense conflict breaks out. The noble magic knights look down on him, calling the Black Bulls garbage, but Asta boldly challenges their values. He refuses to stand by while commoners are hurt, even in the capital. Just before the situation escalates further, a mysterious magic knight named Leopold Vermilion, from the Crimson Lion Kings, arrives and breaks up the confrontation. He's impressed by Asta's conviction and introduces himself as the younger brother of Fugolian Vermilion, one of the strongest captains. The episode ends with Leopold declaring Asta as his rival, much to Asta's surprise, adding a new layer of competitive camaraderie to the story. Ione character development. 1. Asta displays maturity and moral clarity when standing up to the noble magic knights. He doesn't hesitate to risk conflict to protect innocent people. His lack of magical power doesn't stop him from acting like a true knight. It doesn't matter if you're a noble or a peasant. If you're hurting people, I'll stop you. 2. Noelle Silva struggles emotionally in the capital due to her noble background and fear of being seen by her family. Begins to understand Asta's values more clearly. His self-worth isn't tied to status. Slowly opens up, showing subtle affection and admiration toward Asta. Inner thought. Why is he so confident even though he has nothing? 3. Rebecca and her siblings represent the innocent townspeople caught in a world ruled by noble oppression. Their friendliness toward Asta humanizes the lower class and shows how Asta naturally earns people's trust. 4. Leopold Vermilion. A hot-blooded and passionate knight who instantly respects Asta's courage. Declares Asta his rival, not out of insult, but from genuine admiration. Adds a new layer of friendly rivalry and future camaraderie. Ion world building. 1. The royal capital Kika. A vibrant, magical city representing wealth, power, and class division. Unlike remote villages, the capital shows the disparity between nobles and commoners in full force. Provides a backdrop for themes of social injustice and elitism. 2. Noble magic knights. This episode showcases the entitlement and cruelty of some noble-born knights. Despite their power, many lack compassion or duty. Their behavior contrasts sharply with Asta's ideals. 3. Crimson Lion Kings. The introduction of Leopold teases the Crimson Lion Kings squad, known for pride, honor, and martial prowess. Foreshadows Fugolian, one of the strongest and most righteous captains. 4. Symbolism and key scenes. 1. The marketplace scene. Symbolizes the intersection of classes, commoners trying to live peacefully while nobles use magic to assert dominance. Asta standing between the people and the nobles represents the bridge between classes he hopes to become. 2. Asta playing with children. Highlights his humble nature and accessibility. Unlike many nobles, Asta earns respect by treating everyone as equals, not with status or power. 3. Noelle's anxiety. A powerful visual cue that not all nobles are comfortable with the current hierarchy. Her internal conflict shows she's torn between her upbringing and what she's learning from Asta. 5. Themes and philosophical ideas. 1. Justice beyond rank. Asta acts as a protector not because of his squad, power, or birth, but because of his sense of right and wrong. The episode asks, what does it truly mean to be a magic knight? Birthright, or action? 2. Class discrimination. The episode sharply critiques the nobility's abuse of power. Shows how commoners live in fear, even in the kingdom's heart. Highlights Asta's role as a disruptor of this social structure. 3. Courage to speak up. Asta embodies the courage to speak truth to power. Noelle, by watching him, begins to reevaluate her silence and past shame. 4. Respect is earned, not inherited. Nobles expect respect by birth. Asta earns it through courage, honesty, and compassion. Earning Leopold's respect is proof of this. V1 Foreshadowing and future setups. 1. Leopold's declaration. Sets up a friendly rivalry and potential future alliance. Suggests that not all nobles are corrupt. Some, like Leopold, believe in merit and passion. 2. Introduction of the Vermilion family. Prepares the audience for Fugolian, who will become a key character. The Vermilion family represents a more honorable strain of nobility, different from the snobs Asta confronted. 3. Noelle's internal struggle lays the groundwork for her character arc, from a shamed noble to confident knight. She's beginning to shift thanks to Asta's influence. VI1 episode's narrative function. This episode serves as a moral interlude after combat-heavy missions. Deepening of the class struggle theme. Introduction point for new key characters like Leopold. Showcase of Asta's core virtues in a peaceful but socially volatile setting. VII1 conclusion. Episode 11, What Happened on a Certain Day in the Castle Town, is a socially charged, character-focused episode that trades physical battles for ideological ones. It reminds viewers that in the world of Black Clover, the real battle isn't just magical, it's cultural, social, and personal. Asta doesn't just fight with a sword, he fights with principles. Noelle begins the process of shedding her shame and discovering her own strength. And with the introduction of Leopold, the road to true camaraderie and rivalry expands beyond Asta and Yuno. No matter where I am, I'll stand up for what's right, magic or not. Asta. Black Clover, Episode 12, The Wizard King Saw. One full plot summary. The episode begins with Asta and Noelle finishing their errand in the royal capital. They are soon summoned by the Wizard King, Julius Novachrono, who has taken an interest in Asta due to the report on the Saucy Village mission and the anti-magic power he wielded against the rogue mages. Asta is awestruck when meeting the Wizard King, a figure he idolizes deeply. Julius, however, is not what Asta expected. Rather than a regal or intimidating man, Julius is curious, childlike, and obsessed with discovering new magic. His quirky behavior contrasts sharply with his title and power. Julius begins to question Asta about his anti-magic sword and the power of his grimoire. He's intrigued by how someone with no mana can negate and repel magic using brute force. Julius invites Asta to demonstrate his abilities in front of him and his assistant, Marx Francois, the Wizard King's stern and duty-bound aide. As Asta shows off his sword and raw power, Julius becomes increasingly fascinated. He declares Asta's magic a mystery, and sees his potential as something rare and worthy of close observation. The scene is then interrupted when news arrives of a theft in the magic item research lab, involving stolen magical artifacts. Julius, excited by the prospect of seeing unknown magic in action, immediately rushes to the scene, teleporting Asta and Noelle with him. At the lab, they find that the perpetrator is a mage using time-based magic tools to slow and immobilize guards and researchers. Asta tries to fight him, but the enemy mage uses temporal delay spells that even Asta's physical speed cannot fully overcome. Julius steps in and reveals his true power, time magic. He easily captures the thief by reversing the time in his body and binding him with extreme precision. It's a stunning display of the Wizard King's overwhelming power and command of magic. The episode ends with Julius calmly asking the thief why he stole the items. The mage, under interrogation, cryptically mentions an underground group that seeks to reclaim their rightful place. Julius is visibly disturbed, hinting that he's aware of larger forces at play. Ione character development. 1. Asta meets his idol, the Wizard King, but sees that greatness comes in unexpected forms. Gains the respect of Julius, which serves as a major milestone in his journey. Shows confidence when demonstrating his anti-magic, but also humility when he sees how far he still has to go. So this is what it's like to be near someone who's really the Wizard King. 2. Noelle Silva continues observing Asta's natural ability to win people over, even high-ranking individuals. Begins to reflect on her own role and growth, subtly envious, yet inspired. Acts as Asta's moral anchor during the chaos in the capital. 3. Julius Novachrono, Wizard King. Revealed in full for the first time. A complex character. Outwardly whimsical, inwardly sharp, observant, and wise. His passion lies not in dominance, but in understanding the nature of magic. Wields time magic, making him nearly untouchable in battle. Sees Asta not just as a curiosity, but as a key piece in the future of the kingdom. 4. Marx Francois. Julius's assistant. Serious, disciplined, and devoted. Serves as a contrast to Julius's carefree personality. Keeps track of political and security affairs. II world building. 1. Magic item research facility. This is the first glimpse into magical technology and experimentation. shows that the Clover Kingdom isn't just about combat magic, but also scholarly and scientific pursuits. Hints at magical tools that can rival innate power, depending on how they are used. 2. Time magic. Julius's time magic is introduced as a rare and incredibly potent magical type. Symbolizes control, perspective, and balance, fitting for the ruler of all magic knights. 3. Underground organizations. The thief's comments allude to the Eye of the Midnight Sun, a group that will later become central to the story. Suggests there is a rebellious movement rooted in resentment or ideology, possibly involving history that the kingdom has hidden. 4 key scenes and symbolism. 1. Asta meeting Julius. Symbolic of the dreamer meeting the dream. Julius, rather than discouraging Asta, validates his path, proving that greatness recognizes spirit, not just magical strength. 2. The Magic Lab robbery. Represents the leak in Clover Kingdom's magical security, possibly hinting at infiltration. Magic items being stolen suggest that enemies may be augmenting their power artificially. 3. Julius using time magic. Visually stunning and thematically important. Shows that true power is not loud or chaotic, it is precise, intelligent, and intentional. Reflects the ideal wizard king, one who brings order and understanding. 5 themes and philosophical ideas. 1. True power lies in curiosity. Julius isn't obsessed with control, he's obsessed with discovery. The episode explores how the most powerful person in the kingdom is also the most open-minded. 2. Idolization versus reality. Asta learns that heroes aren't perfect, but they are driven by vision and values. Meeting Julius redefines Asta's dream. It's not just about becoming strong, but being someone who uplifts others. 3. Class and curiosity. Julius, despite being at the top of society, listens closely to Asta, a peasant with no magic. Reinforces the theme that worth is earned, not inherited. 4. Magic is a double-edged sword. The thief uses magic tools to harm. Julius uses magic to restore order. Power, in the Clover Kingdom, is not inherently good or evil, it reflects the user's values. V1 foreshadowing and future setups. 1. The Eye of the Midnight Sun, implied. The thief mentions a group trying to reclaim something, heavily hinting at a faction that feels wronged by the kingdom. Sets up the future arc involving radical opposition to the Clover Kingdom's rule. 2. Asta as a wildcard. Julius's interest in Asta suggests that Asta may play a major role in upcoming conflicts. Anti-magic is a threat to the magical structure of the kingdom, and a tool against corruption. 3. Magic items and weapons. Introduces the concept that magical artifacts can be weaponized. These will become important later in the series as enemies use technology and forbidden relics. VI1 episode's narrative function. This episode accomplishes several key narrative goals. Fully introduces the Wizard King, the ultimate figure of authority and inspiration. Validates Asta's journey by giving him Julius's attention and curiosity. Introduces the existence of magical research and rising internal threats. Shifts the tone from personal growth to kingdom-level stakes. VII1 conclusion. Episode 12 of Black Clover, The Wizard King Saw, is a pivotal moment in the series. It marks the first real recognition of Asta's potential by the highest authority. The beginning of Julius's mentorship, though subtle. A growing awareness that danger is not just external, it's rooted within the kingdom's system. There's more than one kind of magic, and more than one kind of strength. Julius Novachrono. Asta's dream of becoming Wizard King may seem far off, but this episode proves he's on the radar now, and greatness often begins with being seen. Black Clover, Episode 13, The Wizard King Saw, continued. 1 full plot summary. This episode continues from the events of Episode 12. The Wizard King, Julius Novachrono, has apprehended the thief who broke into the magic item research laboratory. The episode focuses primarily on the interrogation of the culprit and the Wizard King's deduction regarding an emerging conspiracy within the Clover Kingdom. The captured mage, visibly terrified of something beyond the kingdom, reveals that he's part of a radical underground organization, though he refuses to name it directly. He speaks cryptically about reclaiming a lost right, and mentions that more magical items will be taken, hinting at a large-scale movement. Julius, although calm, is clearly disturbed by the implications. He senses that these events, The saucy village attack, the use of forbidden magic, and the theft of magic items, are not isolated, but part of a well-orchestrated plan. Meanwhile, Asta and Noel observe Julius with awe. The Wizard King explains that magic should be studied, respected, and used to protect, not abused. He praises Asta again, acknowledging how rare and unique his anti-magic power is. He encourages both Asta and Noel to keep growing, because the kingdom needs knights who are strong in heart, not just in mana. After the thief is taken into custody, Julius thanks Asta and Noel for their help and asks them to return to the Black Bulls. The two leave the capital, having gained new respect and understanding of what it truly means to protect the kingdom. The episode concludes with a brief but ominous glimpse of the Eye of the Midnight Sun, the mysterious group behind recent events. A cloaked figure, possibly their leader, is seen commanding others and planning the next phase of their assault on the Clover Kingdom.
This entire content was created by the YouTube channel Bunday 125.
Ione character development. 1. Asta learns that even the Wizard King is still curious about magic. Begins to understand the importance of knowledge and strategy, not just brute force. Gains Julius's respect, reinforcing that being born without magic doesn't define one's worth. I may not have magic, but I can still fight for what's right. 2. Noel Silva gains more confidence being around Asta and Julius. Sees how Asta interacts freely with powerful people despite being a peasant. Starts realizing her nobility doesn't make her better, it's her choices that will. Inner monologue, he keeps moving forward, no matter what. Maybe I can, too. 3. Julius Novachrono revealed to be more than a whimsical figurehead, he's also a skilled investigator and strategist. Takes note of the underground unrest in the kingdom. Reinforces his belief that the future depends on young magic knights like Asta and Noel. 4. The captured mage. Although only a minor character, his fear and cryptic words emphasize that a darker organization operates in the shadows. He is willing to die rather than betray his group, suggesting deep loyalty or brainwashing. Ion world building details. 1. Eye of the Midnight Sun, implied. Though unnamed here, this is the first clear visual of their organization: cloaked figures, mysterious symbols, and a charismatic leader giving orders. They are interested in ancient magic, forbidden arts, and destroying the kingdom's structure. 2. Magical item technology. The stolen items imply that magic in this world is not just elemental or combat-based, it's also technological and research-driven. Suggests future battles may involve enchanted weapons, tools, and artificial enhancements. 3. Royal capital's role. Highlighted as the nexus of power, politics, and intelligence in the Clover Kingdom. Yet it's also shown to be vulnerable, meaning the kingdom may not be as secure as it appears. 4. Symbolism and key scenes. 1. The interrogation scene. Symbolizes the fragility of the kingdom, even those who seem loyal can be working against it. The thief's cryptic refusal to name names shows how fear and secrecy dominate underground groups. 2. Julius encouraging Asta and Noel. Symbolic of a mentor passing wisdom to the next generation. Julius sees potential in them not because of their bloodline or mana, but because of their spirit and values. 3. The final glimpse of the cloaked cult. Visual foreshadowing of the Eye of the Midnight Sun, their ideology-driven rebellion, and magical warfare to come. Serves as a warning of war slowly rising from the shadows. 5 themes and philosophical meanings. 1. The value of uniqueness. Asta, who was once laughed at for having no magic, is now recognized by the Wizard King himself. Reinforces that being different can be powerful if you stay true to your ideals. 2. Leadership with humility. Julius is a role model not because of his strength, but because of his curiosity, humility, and compassion. Shows how a true leader listens and learns, even from unexpected sources. 3. Fear versus loyalty. The thief fears his organization more than the law. Explores how ideological manipulation can overpower rational fear of punishment, a growing threat in the series. 4. Preparing for the unknown. The episode encourages readiness and adaptability. Asta and Noel realize they are now part of something larger than themselves, a brewing war for the soul of the kingdom. V1 foreshadowing and future setups. 1. Eye of the Midnight Sun, revealed. Their visual appearance confirms their looming presence, even though their name is not yet spoken. Sets up their first large-scale attack in upcoming episodes. 2. Julius's secret worry. Though playful, Julius is increasingly serious in private. His observations show he's tracking the threat quietly, setting up his future actions as the Wizard King. 3. Asta's growing role. Julius taking interest in Asta places him in the center of the kingdom's attention. Foreshadows Asta being drawn deeper into the heart of national defense. VI1 episode's narrative function. This episode serves several important story functions. Concludes the capital visit arc, marking Asta and Noel's evolution. Shifts the tone toward political and magical conspiracies. Begins to unveil the primary antagonists of the series. Emphasizes that the Wizard King is watching everything, and preparing in silence. VII1 conclusion. Episode 13 of Black Clover, The Wizard King Saw, continued, is a bridge between personal growth and national conflict. It shows how young knights like Asta and Noel are unknowingly stepping into a massive war. How Julius Novachrono, though cheerful, is methodically preparing for a coming storm. That not all enemies are external, the rot may come from within the kingdom itself. Sometimes the strangest power becomes the most needed. Julius Novachrono. The episode closes not with triumph, but with anticipation, a feeling that something larger and darker is beginning to move. And Asta, whether he's ready or not, is going to be right in the middle of it.
Thank you for watching until the end of the video. If you find this content meaningful, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss out on more emotional anime stories coming up next.